Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. As always, I'm your host, Litecoin Leader. And today we're talking about yet another coin. Welcome to ALTCOINopoly. The game continues. Today we're getting closer and closer to finishing up the first zone of the board, that lower level of the board. And we're looking at, we have 2 spaces left to go. So we're going to talk about a project that focuses on something that's definitely needed in the industry. I've been talking to a lot of people, just individuals that want to get into cryptocurrency, but businesses also want to get into it too. And one of the major items that's needed in the industry is a point of sale device. And that is the little device where you take a credit card and you swipe it at the store, you pay for stuff, or you slide the card in because it's got that little chip on it. That is a point of sale device, and that is what they use to translate your card into their system, to take the payments and put it into their accounting system and get the money and pay for the goods and make sure you had the money on the card, all that good stuff. That is a point of sale system. Right now, there's very few, if any, in the United States that are working with cryptocurrency. But that doesn't mean that there's not other solutions worldwide. We have to remember that cryptocurrency is not just US, it's not just North America, it's the entire globe. So one of the projects we're going to talk about today is a project that is big in Asia. I first discovered it when it was very, very cheap. It's gone through a lot of changes in the last 4 or 5 months. But it offers, the key thing that it offers, it's a point of sale device. It has other features too and other offerings, but it's mostly in Asia. They're trying to break into the North America or Hawaii market right now. They're barely in the US. They're trying, but it's an up and coming coin. It's got a lot of interest, a lot of good features, and we're going to talk about that next.
So where are we in ALTCOINopoly? Well, we're still in zone number 1, which is the bottom of the board. Let's talk briefly about what's been completed so far so we can get a little bit caught up. We have gone through 7 different pieces so far. The odd number ones have been free on YouTube. The even number ones have been subscribers only. So we are now on piece number 8, which is going to go, it's going to help out, finish out this first row. Pieces 8 and 9 will complete zone 1. Otherwise known as the cheap rent district or the cheaper coins, along with coin number 1, which is available for free. That's the only one that's over $1 on that list. But after I do coins 8 and 9 this week, I am no longer going to point out where these coins go, and you're going to have to play the game, keep good notes. That's how the game is played. You got to take notes. I'm not going to keep telling you where every piece goes. You got to watch the videos. So, hey, it's a free trip. You got to do a little bit of work. So, piece number 8 is a coin called NPXS, which is also known as PoonDX. It is a coin that is very interesting to me. I discovered it about 6 months ago. It's rather interesting. It's rebranded from NPXS to PoonDX, so I will accept both answers on your, I'm going to be kind. You can put either one down, that's fine. But that is the very first space in Zone 1, the cheap rent. It was dirt cheap when I discovered it, like way less than a penny. So it gets the very first spot on the board because that's where the cheap rent goes. So let's dive into this coin and figure out what PoonDX is all about. So today's coin is a coin called PoonDX. And it's had some identification issues in the United States because the ticker was not PoonDX. It just switched over to that, and it was originally NPXS. But now they've gone into a transition where they rebranded into PoonDX. I guess you call it rebranding. They repriced. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's start with their website. Jump to their website, PoonDX.com, and it says grow your business with Bitcoin. So their focus is what they call the XPOS. It's the PoonDX point of sale device. And you can see that there's 3 elements of their design. They have a PoonDX card, they have an app on the phone, and they also have a point of sale device. Now that point of sale device, I'm going to show how that works in a moment, but let's walk through the website. So the website's pretty good. Talks to you about digital currency anywhere. It talks about the rebranding. NPXS is now PoonDX as of March, end of March. We'll talk about that in a moment and go over the article and details of that. They've done some interesting things there. Some nice background branding here. So, a borderless payment ecosystem beyond fiat. It's a fancy way of saying they're taking cryptos instead of cash. And it's a point-of-sale device, as mentioned before. They are in 30 different countries. They're in Brazil, Asia, Nigeria, Africa. Africa's not a country, but you get an idea. Nigeria is where it's at. So there's the PundiX device. Here's the device itself. That's the scanner device, which is the XPOS. There's another look at all the ecosystem there. You have the 3 different devices, the app on the card itself, and then the scanner. And we'll go over a video of the scanner. So I just wanted to walk through the rest of the website. Again, over 30 countries. And here's a nice map. So you can see that they are in the United States, but it's very limited there. And that's one of the downsides. I did meet with the lead distributor, I guess you would call him, in Texas when I was down there with a Bitcoin Ben event. And quite frankly, I was unimpressed with his talents and knowledge of the product. So that left me a little bit lacking. But then I reevaluated and said, you know what? This is not their primary market. Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, they're in those places. They're doing well. I will show a video of the device in usage. And the team's been around since before 2017. So they continuously just speak more and more and more about their main 3 products. There's another product which I'll talk about in a moment, which could be another dimension to this company, which is worthwhile. So you can scan through the website. You can obviously see that it's a slick website. There's a lot of animations to it. Let's look at the video. So Zach, I think it's Chi is the right way to pronounce it. This is a video from November 2017. Why did I pick this out? Well, first off, it's almost 4 years old. Second, I believe he's the CEO. Yes, he's the CEO. It's right there on the screen. He's the CEO of PundiX, and he goes through a walkthrough of how this actually works, and he did it in November of 2017. That just shows that this product is becoming relatively mature. The team is still intact. It works. So let me play the video while I talk over it.
So to get a good drink. So I'm here in a cafe area, and let's try to see what we can find. Let's get some good food and good drinks. Now we are here at a very nice coffee place that supports our XPOS device and also our XPass card. Let's buy ourselves some drinks using our XPass card. Can I have a chocolate coffee?
One chocolate coffee.
Yeah.
Chocolate coffee.
So can I pay with my Pundi XPass card?
Okay.
So what I'll do is that I'll just tap the device using the card. Here we have it. Just bought ourselves a chocolate coffee using the Pundi XPass card. Can I buy a Biitcoin using my XPass card?
Of course can.
The Pundi XPoS device not only allows me to buy coffee, it also allows me to buy Biitcoin. And we can also buy Biitcoin using mobile application. This is Pundi, and let's try to buy a Biitcoin using the application. Fifi, can I buy a 0.1 Biitcoin?
Okay.
So what I'll do is that I will use the QR code and let the XPoS device scan my QR code. So I will confirm the payment using my thumbprint. Okay, or the passcode. Here I have it. I bought myself a Biitcoin. You can actually buy coffee or Biitcoin using our XPoS device and our XPass card or our application.
Now, a couple things about the video. First, I don't think he bought a full Bitcoin. I think he bought a tenth of a Bitcoin. Second, it was 2017. So he's not walking around with 50 grand sitting on his phone waiting to buy a Bitcoin. But I also wanted to point something else out in the device. Yeah, there we go. There's a good picture. Now, back then, they had Litecoin. I've asked about this, and it seems to be that they've refocused. They do support Bitcoin. They do support the Pundi X coin, but they're predominantly focused on Ethereum-based coins. So that was a concern for me that they didn't support USDC yet. I think actually USDC may be in that is supported, but USDT is their primary USD equivalent. So you can't just keep the money in Bitcoin if you're in a point of sale device for customers for a company. So if you're accepting payments through the XPOS device, you can't keep it in Bitcoin. You have to convert it in USDT inside the United States. That's one of the concerns I had. But it's a challenge you can overcome. They did not take Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash when I spoke to the representative, nor I also spoke to the company itself. I actually got on the phone and talked to the company. A point of interest there, if you have an interest in a product or a project, reach out to the company. Talk to them. This is not that large of a community, and they want to promote adoption. I'm promoting adoption. I'm reaching out to people. I think that point of sale device is a key feature, and I wanted to try and find one. So I've talked to a number of companies, and this one was interesting to me, but I think they fell a little short for the U.S. market right now. But I did like the fact that he demonstrated this back in November of 2017, back when Bitcoin was starting to hit its first peak around of 20,000 at the first run up, and they've been around since then. So the team is still intact and still working. So that's good to me. What else here? So the next article I want to touch on is 3 things that they did recently. First off, back in March, Zach, same person, so same guy from the video, is talking here about the token reduction, the token burn, and the token buyback. So what does all that mean? Well, the original NPXS coin was dirt cheap, like dirt cheap, like 0.0001 cents. So what they did was that when the coin started to run up, but even before the coin started to run up, they decided they were going to do what's called a reverse split. So what they did was, as part of the rebranding back from NPXS to Pundi X ticker, they converted every 1,000 NPXS shares or coins or tokens converted to 1 Pundi X. And then it translated, obviously, you get 0.001 Pundi X for every 1 NPXS you had. So they shrunk the supply from 1 billion to, I think, 1 million. Or I'd have to look at the numbers, but they shrunk it by a factor of 1,000. I'm not sure exactly what the tokenomics are right now. Let me check real quick. So I went and checked, and the supply of Pundi X tokens is 258.5 million tokens. It used to be 258.5 billion tokens for NPXS. So that just tells you that, yeah, they did really need to shrink the supply. Now, the other ways they're shrinking the supply is a token reduction and a token burn. So, or a token buyback and a token burn. The token buyback, the company is reserving the rights to buy back tokens to reinvest in themselves. Other companies do that in the stock exchange. They just take some of their working capital, buy their own shares or tokens, thinking that's a good investment, and then keep them for themselves. Also, there's a token burn. The tokens do get burnt every so often, which means that just, if you've ever sent a token out in the middle of nothingness or sent it to the wrong address, that token is lost forever. That token is burned. So now they're doing that officially on purpose to reduce the supply, which is, again, lowers the amount of available supply. Probably they'll get under 250 million. And as a result, the rest of the remaining tokens should increase in value. So before I jump into the charts and the pricing and that part of the discussion of Pundi X, I wanted to touch on one more article and one more thing that's important that I thought was it's come up recently as a topic: privacy and cell phone data. Pundi X is creating a blockchain phone, and this is going to be a big portion of the blockchain industry going forward. People are always concerned about privacy on their phone. Who controls their data? Is it Google with the Android phones? Is it Apple with the iPhone? If you have a blockchain phone and your data, you control your own data, you control it yourself with a blockchain phone, that's a unique application of blockchain. And that's a great application when you're making a cell phone. So now Pundi X is not the only one that's in this business. There's a lot of companies that are trying to do this. But it's an interesting application. It's another interesting product that I wanted to mention, that there's another space that they're trying to get into beyond the point of sale device. Now, let's take a look at the prices and the charts. So the Pundi X chart is difficult to analyze right now because they rebranded. So some of the charts go with NPXS and some go with Pundi X. So back in March, it's difficult to see data before then. So this is a chart that looks what KuCoin looks like. And you can see that it's come down significantly since the rebranding. You'll see that also in the Binance chart. They look similar. But this chart here is an aggregated view by TradingView, which takes both the PundiX and the NPXS value into one chart. So this is pretty good. This is the Bittrex valuation. And then this chart is the HitBTC version. So I'm going to look at both of them for evaluation. So we're going to take a look here on the HitBTC, and we'll see that we saw it was a major run up. Like there was huge information. I even started to look at this coin back in November, December timeframe. There was a number of message boards and chatter going about this coin. There were a lot of intuitives making videos on the internet. I use all kinds of sources to find my coins. Nothing is off the table. So there's a lot of talk about this coin and said this coin is dirt cheap. I mean, look at how many zeros there are on that price just in that chart. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros before that 1838 in terms of sats. It's basically 2 sats. It costs you 2 sats to buy a PundiX in the middle of November. And then it went on a monster run. It ran from, like 2 sats all the way up to, that's like 15 or 16. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but that was significant in a short amount of time. And if you had gotten in December, you could have seen like a 30 times gain easily. I mean, let's do a measured move here. All right, so it was a little tricky to quite get this measurement here. But if I went back to December time frame and I measured from December of 2020, middle December to March, the peak, and it's 4,800% of a move. You could have done nearly a 50x if you timed it perfectly right, where you could have gotten into PundiX and made 50x times your return. Now, it retraced a lot. It went from, well, let's measure the retracement here. So the retracement, let's see if I can get this right. From the peak, if you're going 50x and you wrote it back down, well, you could have gone down 80%. So if you went up 50x, you would have lost 40 of those x's. So that's not great, but that's what happens in crypto space. So this is where you need to learn that if it goes up and spikes high, take some profits. Not financial advice, but so the old saying holds true. No one ever goes broke by taking a profit. So don't be afraid to take a profit, especially if you're up 10x. I mean, everybody wants to hear that home run hero story. You put in $100 and you got $1 million. That's great, but it doesn't always happen that way. Things go up and down. So don't be afraid to take a profit, especially if things go up 40 or 50x. And then see what you can do with it after that. Once you've secured those profits, that's nice to have in your account, and then you decide what to do from there. So yes, you could easily have made a 30x easily from back in the December time frame all the way up until March. But what happened at that point is that the news came out about the reverse split, the buybacks, the rebranding, everything, and people just sold the news. You buy the rumor and you sell the news. If you've ever seen a chart that looks like this, you could say, what the heck happened right about in here? And this is a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of chart. Now, it's very possible that PundiX can go on for another run. But you see these, I mean, there was just ridiculous amount of sell-off in the March-April timeframe. Now, there is some plus side to this because there's also, when you move over to PundiX from your NPXS, and if you go back to the original website, it does tell you, how to swap them out, and you can actually stake them. You can actually stake these tokens and get a significant return on your investment for staking it. But the charts, I mean, the chart really is it's just quite ugly right now. So the retracement here, if I do a quick Fibonacci retracement, it is down, 75% from roughly its all-time high. So could it easily go back? So that, yeah, it could. This could be a reassessment, and it could go up here. And if it goes up to, let's say, the 1.6 level, And we'll just drop in a horizontal line there. Let's just say 1.6 is a conservative target, and from where it is today. And we measure that from now. You're looking at that is over 400% gain. So that's a 4x from here. So you could be on the upside of 4 times your investment here. So in terms of dollars, let's go over to the dollar chart. And if we go up 400%, which is going to be off the screen, if we go off 400%, that's 0.013 cents. No, that can't be right, because that's the original price. So that's probably going to be $13. Yes, so it would be $13.20. Currently, the price is roughly $3, because you can see over here it's 0.0034, but with 1,001 reverse split, it's actually $3.40 on this scale, because we're not in NPXS anymore. We're in PoonDX. They move the decimal places 3 to the right. So it's $3.40 right now. So you're looking at a target of about $13 if it was to go up 4x. So let's look at that on the coin market cap scale and take a look at what that means before we leave the pricing and the charts. So on coin market cap, if you put in the PoonDX, and they're trying to reflect both right now, the PoonDX is at just over $3. It is well off of the top 100. It was at one time in the top 100 when it was near that peak. It's now at coin number 223. The market cap is 791 million. And I think the top 100, you need to be at least at $1 billion. So if I go back to coin market cap and scroll down to the bottom, 791 million is definitely off the pace. You need to be at 1.1 billion to be in the top 100. So it needs to come up 30%, but it definitely has the opportunity to get there. So it could get that Coinbase page 1 effect where you jump from page 2 to page 1. PoonDX is now on page 3, but the potential is there. It could definitely get there if it starts moving up again. If it moves up 2x, it could easily get that 4x, because the 2x would definitely put it into page 1, and then a 4x would take it from 780 to about 3 billion, which would put it, let's find a coin in the 3 billion range. So a coin in the 3 billion range, we're looking at just borderline a top 50. Now, it's interesting that Elron Gold is there, because Elron Gold actually did a 1,001 reverse split when it went from Elron to Elron Gold. So that's actually a coin I've been comparing it to. Now, Elron Gold does something completely different. That is its own ecosystem. But it's interesting that that's about the right spot where it would be about top 50 coin. I don't think it should be larger than Zilliqa, but I think, or it could be bigger than Hedera Hashgraph. So I think coin 50 to 60 is a reasonable range for PoonDX. So a 3 to 4x move from here, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I think that the technology's there. I think the Asian market's there. I like that the team's been together for more than 4 years. They have 4 viable things. They have a card, they have a point of sale device, they have an app on their phone, and now they're getting the blockchain phone together. So expanding beyond the 30 countries is going to be interesting. I think that they're slowly rolling out where they need to be. And I think it's a coin with some definite upside and in a good place and good space and good use case to build upon.
So there you have it. The correct pronunciation of this coin is PoonDX. It used to be a ticker NPXS, but now it's switched over to PoonDX. It has a good tokenomics going forward. They've done a lot of good things. They're doing a token burn. They did a reverse split. They're doing staking now. It's got a lot of good features. The downside right now, of course, is that the news came out about all these features, and once all that happened and they did the switch over, the price came down significantly. But that's a good entry point if you're so inclined. Not financial advice, but on a pullback, that's usually a good, after hitting an all-time high and then a pullback around 50% or so from the bottom to the top on the chart is a good entry point. So PoonDX is probably in a good spot. As soon as it starts to turn that corner and head back on up, that's usually on the charts where you'd say, let's go get some. So keep an eye on PoonDX. It's got a lot of upside, not a terrible amount of downside at this point. It's worth a home run swing. Take a shot at it. You know, roll those dice on coins like this and see how, you know, get that 10x or higher out of it. You also have the staking option as well. So there's plenty upside for it. It's in a nice niche of the point of sale device. It also has the blockchain phone. There is some downside to it because the North American market is going to be tougher to crack, but they're focused in Asia. The team is over in Asia, and they're getting a lot of traction there. So it's a global phenomenon, cryptocurrency. PoonDX is a big player in that space, and they're worth a spot on the board. So there we have it. We'll close the drawer on the bureau for today, and I'll see you next time. Before you go, I just wanted to let you know some of the things that are going on at LitecoinLeader.com. First off, we have ALTCOINopoly running from now until the end of July. That's the subscriber contest where you can enter in to win a trip to Myrtle Beach. All subscribers who fill out the complete board, all you have to do is watch the videos, write down the piece where it goes on the board, and submit that in August, and you'll be entered in for the drawing where a trip for up to 4 people can come on down to Myrtle Beach, spend the week, have dinner with me, enjoy a great vacation in the August-September timeline, and be part of the feature of probably a meetup that we're going to have centered around that experience. So that's part of what we're doing right now. Also, anyone who joins as a member to LitecoinLeader.com, you get access to all the extra special videos that we have over there, from strategy to how to build your own portfolio, not financial advice, of course, but also some extra coins that you have out there. And also for the unlimited level, you have full access to me for office hours each week. Now, for those of you who can't quite get to that point and you're not on your crypto journey at that level, it's okay. We also have some time out there. I have made some hours available for you can schedule a consultation with me. You'll find throughout the website, you can schedule a consultation with Litecoin Leader, various price points, various times. I try to make myself as available as possible. And if you're just getting started, I fully understand. We all start somewhere. We have the lowest tier available. There's also free content on YouTube. So there's plenty going on. One last thing, I almost forgot. For those of you who join at the second level up, the legacy level and higher, you get a free t-shirt and I'll mail it to you. And in addition, you get 25% off if you send in a photo of yourself around town. You get 25% off of a 1-month subscription if you're wearing a Litecoin Leader t-shirt. Just tell me what size you want and I'll make sure you get it. That's for the $50 level and up. And then lastly, if you make that same photo and you make it at a landmark, and I could tell where you're at. So I could say like, hey, you're at the St. Louis Arch, you're at the Toronto Space Needle, you're at the Golden Gate Bridge, something like that. So you're Manhattan, Times Square, fantastic. That's double. You get 25% off for 2 months. So come on over to LitecoinLeader.com. We get a ton going on. We have Discord, we have resources, we have articles, we have everything going on that you could possibly want for the altcoin space. Come on down, have some fun, and I'll see you over there.
Yeah.